Before we wrap up, I did want to get both of you to weigh in on a trend, maybe one, maybe two, a trend that you think will most impact supply chains in the next 2 to 3 years.
So for me, it's easy. It's AI. And it seems like everybody and their dog is coming up with a new AI tool that's specific to supply chain. It's going to be interesting to see where all this washes out because not everybody's going to make it. There's a lot of people that are in a race to be the front runner. So it's going to be very interesting to see where that goes and the quality. I mean, I love hearing the nuances that Alex brings up of zip ties and tape residue and different things like that. And you think about that, and I can tell you a few years ago it would have been the furthest thing from our minds. But I'll also say that we need these tools because just when we think we've got things figured out, something else happens. And it gives an opportunity to be more thorough as we move through each transaction.
This is a kind of a silly example, but you can see this in other industries. You think about, when we were kids, like you didn't have GPS, you didn't have all these different, things telling you to go. Like you had a map. Like I'm early enough to remember, like, you have this big map, you sprawl out on the dashboard to figure out where you're going. And then I remember when I was a little bit older as a kid, like it was no longer maps, but it was a little packet of paper you'd print out from MapQuest, right? And it'd be turn by turn directions of where to go. And then obviously that turned into the Garmin GPS devices, and now it's on our phones. But if you think about that trajectory, that's exactly what's going to happen here with AI and freight. Meaning we started with data that was unstructured. Lots of information. That's the map. It doesn't tell you where to go. It just tells you where things are. And then we got a little bit better and we started to structure and maybe curate that data. So now you have turn by turn directions, but it's still physical. There's some sort of like human intervention there. And then that information became digitized in the form of a GPS. And you hardly have to think about it. You just input your origin destination and it tells you where to go. But where that is headed isn't stopping with GPSs, right? Google owns Waymo, and Waymo is going to usher in a future where we don't even own cars maybe. And then we just sort of hop in and there's no UI. We just end up where we need to go. And I think something similar is going to happen in our industry. And I think the question of how you get there is really boils down to, do you have the data? GenLogs doesn't foresee ourselves as the car or the engine even. We more so see ourselves as the gas, right? The data telling you all the things you need to know. But ultimately, it's going to have to be consolidated so that those workflows don't require the 15 different screens to figure out where you need to go. It's going to be much more automated.